This is so true and all I was thinking through the movie. So for people out there, let's talk about the Worf effect, because I know you've seen it before. So we're about to talk about spoilers for the new Superman movie, so if you haven't seen it, I'm going to give you a chance to scroll away right now. So the term the Worf effect originates from the series Star Trek The Next Generation, from our character Worf right here, who is a pretty strong dude. Because Worf is known as a strong dude, whenever they introduce a villain, they would have him go against Worf and then lay him out to show, oh, that villain is very strong if he was able to beat even Worf. It happened so frequently, it became a trope that you can even look up on TV tropes. So the Worf effect in basic terms is where a character we know is strong gets beat up to show the seriousness of a situation and how strong or powerful their opponent is. However, if it is used too frequently, the audience may ignore context, remember that, ignore context, and start to think that the character is weak. James Gunn did say when this movie first came out that he didn't want his Superman to be like an invulnerable god. So he straight up starts off the film saying, it's been 3 years, Superman has never lost a fight, but today is the first time he has ever lost a fight, and then that's when we see him crash to the ground. Now that was our introduction to this new Superman, but a lot of people went to the theater with their preconceived notions of Superman, how he already is, like, you know, the most OP powerful hero of all time in fiction. So thinking of Superman like that, and then seeing him beaten right off the back, and then seeing him fight a giant monster and not being the one to defeat it, and seeing him locked up in jail with kryptonite getting beaten up, and seeing him have trouble with what appears to be a video game Iron Man before we find out why he was so damaging, had a lot of people ignoring context. He was laid out because he was fighting his clone who knew his every move. He didn't defeat this monster because he was trying to keep all these people safe, but also he didn't want to kill this thing. He wanted to just, you know, take it to a space zoo. Here he turned himself in and was straight up weakened by kryptonite, and then he had issues with his duplicate who knew his every move until Krypto came in. This Superman is still very strong, but if you ignore context, then it's like, oh yeah, he's weak. Same way people think of the human Z fighters, all right? You put most of them in like any other anime universe, they are basically like One Punch Man there. But compared to these five and the villains they face, it's just not a fair comparison. Both the Immortal and Invincible are very strong heroes, but there's a stupid amount of strong people in Invincible. Well, this has even happened to various real-life fighters. Like when Roy Jones Jr. was in his prime, a lot of people were like, oh man, this dude's unstoppable. But then he lost 3 fights in a row. People were like, oh man, he's weak now. He's freaking pathetic, even though he could still like lay those hands out. While I absolutely love that ending beatdown scene, I do think like early on they should have given like a mini version of it just to show like, oh, he's still very strong with how he's whooping ass. But like, you know, that ending scene, like that got me so hype. I was like cheering like a sports stadium, so with the crowd. So they did a good job with that. But overall, I'm very excited to see how this Superman is going to evolve over the years. But tell me, who's your favorite character who suffered from Worf effect? Because God knows this happens so much in various anime and series.